Hello there. Today we are going to make the Tag Topper punch card, and we are going to make the card using the Scallop Tag Topper from the Occasions catalog here. This is the club project that I did for the month of March. So I just wanted to show you how we did that. Here is the finished card that we did. Right here, and this is what we're going to learn how to do, is the Tag Topper punch to close the card. So let's see how we do that. So I started off with a piece of summer starfruit, and this is just your regular sized card. So an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. No matter how you cut it, whether it's horizontal or vertical, you're going to end up with 2 cards. So this is half of that piece of cardstock. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the cardstock. We want to measure the short ends, and we're going to do that by centering it on our grid paper. The lovely grid paper here starts at 0 in the middle and works its way out on both sides. And how we are going to find the middle, I believe it is 2 3/4 is what we end up with. So if you measure either from the 0 to 2 3/4, or if you center your cardstock at the 2 3/4, you will find the center. We want to mark the center of our short ends so that we know that our Tag Topper punch marks are going to meet up in the middle. So we've got this at the 2 3/4. So I'm marking at the 0. That's how I did it easiest. I hope that works for you. So 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 0 is in the middle, and we have our 2 marks there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our Tag Topper punch, use the scalloped one, and we're going to flip it over so that we can see our paper through the edge. And you're going to push your paper, it has a little bit of a lip there, but you just want to push your paper through it. And you want to line up that pencil mark right in the middle of your Scallop Tag Topper punch. I hope you guys can see that okay. Give it a punch. And you're going to end up with something like that. And we're going to turn that around and do the other side. So again, we're just going to slip that cardstock in there. And give it another punch. And we've got both of our ends. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is we are going to take this over to our trimmer, the Stampin Trimmer. And we just want to cut these little pieces off right here. So I wish there was a more scientific method, but I didn't use one. All I'm doing is lining up this little edge until you can see the cutting groove on your mat. You're going to pull the blade down until you can hear and feel it stop. And then this little piece is going to come off. And we're going to flip that over, do the other thing. The groove is right here, do the other side. You'll feel the resistance of the cardstock, and then you will feel it stop, and that is where you need to stop your cutting so that you don't go into the Tag Topper itself. So there we go. We've got all 4 pieces cut off, and you end up with your cardstock with your 2 Tag Topper ends. Next, we have to score so that we can make the rest of the card. So I'm going to bring over the Simply Scored. And the first thing I want to do is line up this edge of my card with a groove. Again, no scientific way to do this. But what we want to do, I'm going to use the fine end, is score the groove for the Tag Topper itself so that this little piece, the decorative piece, will fold over. Okay, so that's one of the closures. Then you're going to take your flat edge here and butt that right up against the edge, and we want this to be a 4 1/4 card. So we're going to take this and score right at that 4 1/4 mark. Once we bring this over, our 2 tags match up. So that's how you make the base of the card. Let's decorate it. Let's get this out of the way. And the next thing we're going to do, there's my finished one there so you can see, I took a bit of the Celebration DSP, some Snail on the inside. You can always write on that with a darker marker, or you could put another white insert in there if you wanted to be able to write on. There's also this side you can put your greeting on, so you're still good that way. And then the next piece is our front piece here. And I had some club members who wanted to learn how to use the Aqua Painters. So that is what we did. And what I did was I took the Hostess set, simply sketched, and I took 2 of the images, and I just laid them out when I put them on my block so that I knew they'd fit on my cardstock. Attached those to the clear block. I'm going to use StazOn Ink, because I know with my Aqua Painters it won't go anywhere, and my image will still stay nice and crisp. And with the acrylic block you can see exactly where you're stamping, which is lovely. And there we go. And my greeting came out a little fuzzy, but you get the idea. And then what we're going to do is use our Aqua Painter. I squeeze the lid of my ink pad so that I get some ink in the cover. Take my Aqua Painter, squeeze it a bit, make sure the water's coming out, and then color away. Love this technique. We actually used some of the watercolor paper as well to do a bookmark at club, which was lovely. It's really nice to see that technique come through on the watercolor paper as well. And just like the blender pens, if you've used those, you can just scribble until the color is gone so that you can move on to your next color. It's the Calypso Coral. I don't get exact when I watercolor. I think half of the look is just the fact that it isn't exact when you watercolor, especially if you get to use that lovely watercolor paper from Stampin' Up. But for today, we're just using the cardstock. There we go. Coloring is all done. One of the other things I did to do a bit of embellishing was I took my baked brown sugar ink pad with one of my Stampin Sponges and went along the edges. Give it some dimension, really make it pop. And I even just brushed over the top a little teeny tiny bit. I also took some of these lovely teeny tiny pearls. This is from the Pearl Multi-Pack. And I put those in the center of my flower. I haven't really found a perfect way to add these pearls. Some people use tweezers or the edge of their scissors. This one wants to stick to my finger. But yeah, whatever works for you. You can use any technique you like to add those pearls to your cards. There we go. I'm just going to leave that guy on the side just for the sake of the video. I just added them to the center of the flower where you see those nice little dots in there. I'm going to flip this over. Put some Snail on that. And then attach it to the front of my card. Got a little bit of the white organza ribbon. Send that through the tag topper hole. And then give this a quick little tie. I didn't leave enough for a bow this time. I just did a knot. You can do a single knot. You don't want to pull too hard, obviously. You don't want to tear those lovely little tags. But you can do a double as well. And then I want my lovely little scissors. And just trim that up a little bit. There we go. So there we have the Scallop Tag Topper punch card. There's the original one that I demoed at my Stampers Club in March, and this is the one I just did up for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you were able to hear everything and see everything. Please leave comments if you couldn't so that I can improve the next video that I make. And good luck trying your tag topper punch card. I'd love to see some samples as well with the angled tag topper. There's no limit to the amount of fun you can have. Thanks a lot and happy stamping!